All right, back for a little bit of a video here. I've got all the servos hooked up and just testing my setup, getting some things programmed. I'm trying to do as much as I can programming wise now, and hopefully that will make final assembly go a lot easier. I just need some minor tweak because obviously the hinges aren't glued in yet, so it's gonna, probably change the amount of throw I can get and all kinds of stuff. I'll have to tweak endpoints and travel volumes and all that. But anyways, one thing I did notice that is important that the manual doesn't mention is that these hinges on the flaps need to be in a straight line. So the hinge points, you can set them up so that their vertical alignment is different. And obviously that would be bad because then the flap, when it extends, say if this hinge is higher, this one's lower, the flap's going to come down like this instead of straight. So want to make sure that these are level, and basically I kind of set an arbitrary center point here, and then over here I've marked the hinge points with their depth to make sure that the line on the hinge is straight this way. Obviously you don't want them moved this way, that would cause binding, and then it's also level. Probably what I'm going to try to do once the wings are on the airplane, and during final assembly after covering and painting and everything, when I'm hinging these things, is put the wings on the plane and then just make sure that this plane right here, as the flap travels, remains like this and doesn't do this or like this before, because I don't know that my arbitrary sort of set is going to work, and I need to make sure everything is set right on the hinges. I just noticed the manual didn't mention that, and that's odd to me because there is some room for a geometry kind of mess up right on those hinges. And then let's see here, everything else just kind of went off without a hitch. I've got a little bit more throw than manual recommended. I've got 1 1/8 inches up, and then on my, oh, that's not good. I think that I might have just, let's do that. We'll get back to that in a second. So on my differential setup here, I've got 16% positive differential, which yielded manual recommended 1/8 inch differential, which is, in the manual they say 1 inch up, is 7/8 inch down. Since I've got a little more throw, there's a good chance I may want to tweak up to a little more differential once I see how it behaves in the air. The truth is that I fly the rudder manually. I actually prefer to fly my coordination manually. It makes it fun to fly scale airplanes. So there goes my focus on my camera again. And so I'm not as concerned about differential, since its whole point of differential is to counteract adverse yaw, and I kind of enjoy the challenge of trying to fly an airplane coordinated manually, because it's, that's how the full scale ones do it. Typically, they do have most airplanes do have some differential. Anyways, I'm digressing, but the truth is I probably won't tweak the differential much beyond where it's at right now. So we'll just fly the airplane and keep it coordinated. But anyways, we did get some differential in there so that it is per the manual specs. So the downgoing aileron goes about 1 inch, and then the upgoing aileron goes about 1 1/8 inches. And they're going the right direction. Got all that set up. Probably won't set up any dual rates or anything. This airplane's going to be pretty docile. I'm probably just going to fly at straight rates. Then I got my flaps set up, my landing lights are plugged in, so, those work right now. And then that mix that I talked about earlier, now you can see it works. So the flaps go down. As soon as you get first set of flaps, the landing lights drop in case, they're not down already. And then second setting of flaps. So I'll probably tweak the flap throws, make them more spec. I'm guessing 40, 45 degrees of flaps will be fine. I do, again, enjoy flying scale, and so a little more flap might make the airplane a little more fun, do some short field landings and takeoffs, but obviously this isn't a bush plane, so I'm not gonna, I could, initially when I set it up, I had about 85 degrees of flaps, and that's probably a little excessive, so anyways, I don't know if this helps any. I do really geek out on this stuff and enjoy setting an airplane up mechanically and electronically. Obviously, using the 90, what is this, a 9020 receiver with the associated X Plus module that gives me a total of 18 channels available. So everything is plugged into a discrete channel, which allows, you know, full programmability, all the servos and stuff. So anyways, yeah, I don't know if that helps at all. Maybe if Tom or David had some questions on my idea about modding the ailerons, you know, it's just there it is. It's not that big of a deal. I did use some different horns on the flaps, but that pivot point is actually the same as the plan. I actually measured it and put the pivot point in the exact same places on the plan. I just prefer these Dubro horns. They're just easier to work with than those threaded horns, and you know, you don't end up with the chance of getting the drill off, even using a drill press. I've just found it's difficult sometimes to get those drilled single screw post horns perfectly straight, and it's probably because I'm not that great of a builder, but these are a good way to cheat. So anyways, yeah, going well. So I've just basically got some wire conduits to put in. I'm going to put some rocket body tubes in for all my wiring. And then got to solder up some extensions. I'm going to do some custom extensions. I've got some connectors on the way that'll mount in the wing, and they're actually designed to just mount in the wing and the fuselage, so you slide the wing in and it just plugs in all your servos, so I won't have to worry about wiring everything. Hopefully save some setup time, and then make the connections more reliable. And since I'm going to have, you know, 6 servos and 6 lights, or sorry, 3 servos, 3 lights, that's 6 wires per wing I'd have to hook up. I could probably screw something up. I probably would screw something up. So just having a single harness going into a couple of plugs on the wing root, I think will eliminate most of that possibility of screwing things up, as long as I solder up the harness correctly. So anyways, that's that.